life practice community.
Okay, perfect. Wow, it's so wonderful to have so many people here. This is great. All right, we're going to start our practice today in, let's take a seated position. And you can be on a pillow or a block or whatever. Zoom is so cool. So nice to have all you guys together. I just did a yoga class an hour ago with my teacher who's in Los Angeles. That's pretty cool that you can be here and then you can be there and then you can be with people in Toronto and UK, and it's awesome. So take a moment in your seated shape with your spine stacked up and your shoulders relaxed, and let your palms be grounded. At the beginning, when I started offering yoga on Zoom, it was because I was not feeling connected to a community at the start of lockdown. And here we are, so maybe taking a moment to appreciate this connection and this community that has come together. And as you inhale, feel yourself inhale and become aware that we're all sharing this inhale. And then as you exhale, feel yourself exhale and become aware that we're sharing this exhale. And then keep breathing deeply and evenly. Allow the transition from your day or your life and onto your yoga mat let that be a transition to invite yourself to step into the present moment. And see if you can be in this present moment patiently. I think there's a lot of us who move through life in a hurry, always moving towards the next thing, the next goal, climbing up this mountain. See if you can accept this moment with patience. Notice what that does for you, what that changes for you. Our practice tonight, it's going to be hip oriented, and the hip is where we hold stuff. I'll invite you to release whatever you're holding, and that can be an intention, or maybe something else resonates with you. It doesn't matter, but intention is what guides us as we move through our practice. So just identify an intention now. The goal is getting up the mountain. The intention is the way in which we climb it, we walk it. take one more breath in total stillness, and then we're going to invite in a little bit of movement. On your inhale, can you circle your arms upward? Oh, there's Emily, yay. Just letting her into the room, sorry guys. Exhale your palms into heart center. Nice, let's keep sweeping our arms upward. And then circling our palms inward. So Emily is my best friend from when I lived in Kuwait, and the whole time we were in Kuwait together, she was like, I hate yoga, I'm never doing yoga. And now COVID made her a yogi. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot about her because she hasn't been here in a few days, and I need to hear how things are going in Kuwait. So hi, Emily, nice to see you. We'll chat after. Take one more circle. And then this time with your palms upward, we're gonna land our right fingertips alongside our hips, and then inhale our arm upward, and then exhale our hand over towards the right. By the way, this is essentially the most movement we will do in this hour. Take an inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale the other way. Sometimes it's nice to like move a little bit before we drop into stillness. Breathe your arms skyward. Just one more thing, drop into a twist. So land your left palm on your right thigh, land your right fingertips behind you. Breathe your spine upwards, and then send your gaze outward over the right shoulder. And then take a breath in, arms lift all the way up through center, transition. Twist, tie the opposite way. Come all the way up. And then we're just gonna take our palms onto our mat, come into a tabletop. And then breathe a few, oh, I just noticed my other camera's on still. I don't need to. Okay, breathe a few cat cows. So your breath in, you tilt at your pelvis, you lift your chin. On your exhale, you curl your spine, tuck your chin. And then can you breathe your body a few more times? And then when you are ready to let go of movement and receive stillness, you're just gonna make your way into your first balasana, your child's pose. So you'll take the knees wide and sit the hips back and rest the forehead. And if you have particularly tight hips, it might be nice to have a little cushion supporting yourself. Make yourself comfortable. If you are not comfortable, you could also come into a different shape. So our hips are part of the body where we carry all of our stress. I've heard them referred to as our emotional junk drawer. I think all of us have a kind of a junk drawer. Where we store stuff. And in our body, this is physically it. And it can act like a metaphor for our lives off the mat. we kind of move through life collecting stuff, stories, beliefs, expectations, regrets, mistakes. And if we don't find a way to process and release, then we just cling to it. We just linger with it. So just notice what is coming up for you as you rest in this posture. And we're going to stay with it for just about 5 more breaths. And then when you're ready, can you just walk your way up to seated? And if you have a pillow nearby, we're going to grab hold of it. We're going to do a little bit of heart and hip opening in the next shape. So you're going to come forward and just bring your soles of feet together and let your knees knock wide. And then just support this little pillow or bolster at the base of your spine, so your sacrum. And then lay the back of your heart down on the pillow. And there's like a bunch of different things you can do with your arms here. You can have your palms on your thighs. You can have your palms on your navel. You can grip palms to opposite elbows. I want you to inquire into what resonates most with you. And then just do that. So the hip joint, it's where the head of the femur bone. It nestles into the acetabulum. I hope I'm saying that right. A little cup of vinegar. And that word, acetabulum, it comes from the Latin acid, which means acid. Maybe it's acetabulum, maybe it's not acetabulum, I don't know. I'm not a scientist, I'm a yoga teacher. And so there is a reason why our hips are so tight. That's on purpose. They're tightly bound to give us stability. But they can feel kind of glued together through sitting, through driving a car, through overexertion. Lack of activity or even injury. And tight muscles, like the gripping of a fist, they It resists the flow of energy through the connective tissues. So we're going to take 2 more variations of this pose, this butterfly pose. So you can come up from this variation in whatever manner makes sense for you. Maybe rolling to one side. Just kind of lifting up. And then coming all the way to seated, no rush. All right, so the first variation, the second variation we're going to take is just this variation upright. I don't know why I generally avoid this variation of this pose. I will either do it reclined or I will do it forward folding. I wonder what that avoidance is for. I think it's important that we do the postures that we avoid. These things that we want to avoid, we often can learn from. The more difficult and uncomfortable something is, the more that we have to learn. Now we're just going to stay in this variation of butterfly for 1 more minute. And then can you slowly just start to walk your body forward and start to hinge your body forward. So this is your forward folding butterfly. And you might place your head on a block. You can always support your knees with pillows. Be super mindful here, see if you can differentiate between discomfort and pain. And if you're feeling pain, know that it's okay to back off. You're not here to add stress to the body. You're not here to add pain. You're not here to add tension. But if it's simply discomfort, can you lean into that discomfort? Can you explore it? What is it teaching you? If your mind is wandering away from this moment, if you're like, I'm ready to be done with this pose, I'm ready to be done with this practice, if that's what you're thinking, maybe ask, why am I feeling in such a hurry today?
And what is this discomfort? What is this teaching me? And how can I approach this moment with patience? Now we're just going to be here for about 5 more breaths. Nice work, everyone. And then slowly make our way up. Can you slide this pillow to the side if it's still there? And then just bring your body all the way back into a rebound pose. It's not the end yet, sorry guys, just a little rebound, midway break. Your back body is supported and your shoulders are softened, and experience what impact those 3 poses have had on you. Then when you're ready, we're gonna come all the way up into a pose on our feet. So don't rush this process, move slowly. Let the transition be postures in themselves, but just make your way up. Nice. And eventually you're gonna come onto your feet. And just let your palms grip opposite elbows, bend your knees a lot, tuck your chin. So if this feels like a lot for you at this moment, you can also support yourself by like making a little shelf for your elbows with either walking towards some furniture or using your blocks or your books or whatever. But if you're okay to dangle, know that we will be here for 3 minutes. Can you receive a bit of peace from this posture? So it's human beings' tendency to want to hold on rather than let go. And it's my belief that that comes from a fear of the unknown. Right? We're too afraid to quit our jobs because we don't know what will come next. Too afraid to end our relationships because we don't know if we'll find someone that matches or measures up. Sometimes we settle for living our lives in a bit of misery because we're kind of afraid of change. The Buddha says that we only lose what we cling to. Right? And I think a lot of it is a mindset shift around things. It's a shift of being able to let go without fear of what's coming next, and just kind of accept that. That things will unfold as they were meant to unfold. Can you stay lingering with your head below your heart for 5 more breaths? And then I invite you to roll each and every vertebrae one at a time up on top of the next, until your spine lengthens straight up and your shoulders relax. And now you're standing in your mountain, you're in your Tadasana. And this is your rebound. How are you feeling in this moment? What has shifted? What has moved? What has changed? Is it something physically? Is it something mentally? Is it nothing? That is okay too. You don't have to have big moments of insight or aha moments for the yoga to be working. Now we're going to come back down onto the mat. This is where the block or the book may come in handy. It's going to be fun. So we're going to leave our right foot where it is and step our left foot all the way back. All right, so we're taking dragon pose. Option 1 is to just come into a normal dragon with your hands on your thigh. Our left knee is going to be flat on the mat for a while. So if you have any knee sensitivity, you can place a blanket underneath your knee. Now, if you want to deepen your stretch, this is where I invite you to integrate the block, and you're going to place the block on your mat, and then you're going to step your foot on top of the block. Yeah, so this is just going to add like another level, another layer. And then can you lift up and place your palms on your thigh? So I think we all have a tendency to sometimes chain ourselves to thoughts, to beliefs, to patterns, to habits. Right, I had this belief for a long time that like I was Alex, the party girl. That was who I was. It was my identity. And I think sometimes these habits, these beliefs, these ideas we have, we can become chained to them. Tied down by them. Things that don't sit well with our souls or benefit us. And that is kind of like these really intense yin classes. You're holding these shapes forever that are uncomfortable.
And it's when we finally release from them, when we release and let go, it's when we find the most freedom. We're here for one more minute. I used to say this in my early lockdown yoga classes all the time. I used to say, remind yourself that we're not going to be in this pose forever. Just like you're not going to be in this quarantine or this lockdown forever. Although here we are 7 months later, so maybe I was wrong about that. But what tools can you apply to this moment to make it pass with patience, with ease? 5 more breaths. 2, 3, 4, nice work. And then 5. And then we're gonna come forward, and can you just slide this block to the side? Here's the cat. Okay, we're gonna stay on this side. I'm so sorry, guys. So this is your option here. We're coming into lizard. Option 1, you can take your hands to the inside of the right foot, stay there, just walk your right foot wide a little bit. You can be on your hands. Yeah, you got it. Perfect. Or if you have a bit more space, you might come onto the elbows, but being mindful that that is like intense. Okay, and now here's the fun twist. If you want to use your block to make it even deeper, you are going to tuck your back toes and lift your back knee. And then you're gonna take your block or your book and you're gonna place it, so reach it back so it lands underneath the shin. Yeah, this is fun. I'm like, we've been doing MLP for 7 months. We're ready for this. Okay, and then you may then come onto your elbows. Yeah. This is like intense lizard. And if you haven't done yoga since lockdown started, then just stay in level 1. It's all good. Nice. So we're going to be here for 3 minutes as well. What is it that you cling to? Is it rigid opinions? Is it your sense of what's right and wrong? Is it your habits? Is it your long-held beliefs? I know with me right now, it's an expectation of how my job should be. That is just not happening. But we only lose what we cling to, right? If I keep clinging to the way I want school to be, then that's the only way I'm losing it. And if I approach it with a level-headed awareness that it is never going to be the same, probably not for the rest of this year. And if I keep ruminating that, then I'm only losing what I'm clinging to, right? And if I just let it go and accept that every single day is going to be different, then I can practice a patience and a peace towards it. Take 5 more breaths. You got this. Nice work, everyone. And then can you just come all the way up? Awesome. Let's step that right leg back, get rid of that block. We're done. We're done-ish. Come to seated now. or lay on your back or whatever, any posture that is going to allow you to process this experience. Can you observe the shift? I love asymmetrical poses because they give us an opportunity to really observe what's different in the right quad, what's different in the left quad, what's different in the left hip crease, what's different in the right hip crease. And what have we let go of? Take a few more breaths. And then coming up is the opposite side. So you're going to come forward, back onto your hands and knees when you're ready. Supporting your right knee with whatever you need, a pillow, a blankie. Place your block on your mat if you're using it. You don't have to. You're going to step your left foot forward and then either leave the left foot planted on the mat, or maybe you want to step it onto the block. Coming all the way up and landing your palms on your thigh. Tonight was the first time I've ever done a Zoom yoga class outside of the Mindful Life practice. I've only ever done it our way, which is with a lot of connection, a lot of community, a lot of chit chat. Hey, how are you? Where are you? How's it going? What's happening in your country? And it was an amazing class that I did tonight, but it was like really, really strange because everyone just came on and was silent for the 5 minutes prior. And then my teacher just turned on the camera and just started teaching. And I mean, I loved it, but I haven't seen him in over a year. And I didn't even have a chance to talk to him. And I mean, maybe they did that after, I don't know, because I had to skip Shavasana to come teach this class. But it was so interesting because there was also a woman in the class who was on the yoga teacher training with me a year ago. And I hadn't seen her in a year. I don't even have her on Instagram or Facebook. And I really wanted to like unmute myself and be like, hey, Gayanne, what's up? But like no one else was doing it. So I felt like it would be like weird. Anyway, it like really gave me an appreciation for what we've formed, which is much more than just doing a yoga class, right? It's like a connection, a conversation, a community to share this experience with, which is really what's so needed right now, I think. We're here for one more minute. I'm going to stop talking so much if you haven't already muted me. Can you just be present with the sensations? Now I'll stop. Nice, and then come forward. And can you slide your block to the side? Good, we're staying on this side. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee if you want, tucking the block under if you want, otherwise keeping it where it is. And then either being on the palms or coming onto the elbows. Nice. So when I story tell in Yin, when I talk so much, it's kind of the goal is to keep you distracted. I'm going to invite you to rest in the silence and the stillness here and use your own devices to manage the discomfort, to tap into the parasympathetic nervous system. Stay for 2 more minutes and I'll let you know when the time is up. Take 3 more breaths. And then lift all the way off. Nice work. Come up onto the palms. Just take the left knee back. If you're on the block, slide it to the side. Let's take a moment, just sit back on the heels, lengthen up through the spine. Experience the peace and the freedom of letting go after holding on. Now we're going to do a little traps muscle stretch, not because I planned it, but because it feels like a lot of tension accumulated in the upper body in that pose. I don't know about you guys, but it feels like it would be nice to let it go. So you're going to drop your right earlobe towards your right shoulder. And then if you want to invite your right palm up and land it on the side of your head, feel free. And then maybe you lift your left arm to the side and flick your wrists until you find the angle that just kind of like hits the spot. Stay for 3, 2, and then 1. Can you lift your head all the way up through center now? Feel left side compared to right. And then drop your left earlobe over towards your left shoulder. And then maybe lift your left arm up and land it on the right side. For myself, this is number 1 tension hotspot. And I know when I'm not practicing yoga regularly, it shows up in knots in this part of the body. Not so tight that I remember the first time I held this pose in a yoga class, I was like sobbing. It's like so much stuff I needed to let go of. If that's you, if you're feeling the build up physically, then just know that it's okay and normal to feel whatever you are feeling. It's part of the human experience. And just take a few more breaths. And then bring your head all the way up to center. And then can you just drop the chin to the chest and do a few half circles? And then we're going to make our way into our final resting pose. You can come onto your back and lengthen your legs all the way out. Rest your shoulders, rest the back of your hands, rest your heels. You breathe in as much air as you can into your lungs and chest. And then just exhale, let go. Take a few more breaths. Shavasana at first glance looks like the easiest yoga pose, but it's actually the hardest. Because we as Westerners, as human beings living in 2020, are obsessed with go, 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 and and moving from one thing to the next, one opportunity to the next, one experience to the next. And what this pose asks us is, can we embrace non-doing? Can we just be still and be silent? Can we be patient in the present moment? And rest into being here and now. Just knowing that I'll bring you back when the time is up. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these sunken eyes and learn to see. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to be free. Blackbird fly. Blackbird fly. Into life, dark black night. Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. All your life, you were only waiting for this moment to arrive. Give your fingers and your toes a little wiggle. Inviting a nice long stretch through the body. Taking your knees into your chest, give your body a soft and simple little squeeze. If there is one thing you want to carry from this practice into your life. Identify it now. And then slowly make your way up to seated. Take our palms at our heart center. Lengthen up through the spine and soften the shoulders. I think my experience in the other Zoom yoga class today just reminded me of how special our community is, and I'm so thankful for that. So we close with an intention. An ancient intention, but it is the original intention. It's passed from the heart of my teacher, who I was just practicing with earlier, and I pass it to you. And it's that our yoga practice remains steady and that our efforts remain continuous, and that our yoga practice serves and benefits not just ourselves, but everyone around us and everyone around them, and so on and so forth. May all beings be happy and be healthy and be free, and may the thoughts and actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So we'll finish with an Om. We're going to inhale and exhale, and then inhale through to make the Om. So a large breath in, and then an emptying breath out, then a big breath in. Thank you for sharing the space and the practice tonight. The light that is within me, it sees and honors the light in each and every one of you. Have a wonderful evening or afternoon, depending on where you are on the planet. See you soon. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining.